Yay.
We are live, apparently.
Exciting.
That's what the tweet I just sent says, so we better be live.
It's one of those things where it's like, well, it says it, so it better be the case.
Yeah, we are live according to the YouTube thing.
Woohoo!
Very weird because I can't see you guys live currently because I'm looking at the YouTube video, and because of the delay, I'm saying all this stuff, but then everything is behind.
Yeah, I definitely just went on to check and I'm like, oh, there we are live. Awesome. Okay, sweet. So we know how to do live streams. Goodness me. Now, the real question is, can I remember how to show comments on screen? I can. Hello.
Yeah. The second, Jenna, you said goodness me, my brain immediately went, it's SPC. So that's some good advertising that they did years ago. SPC, they feel like they did like cans of something. It was a food, and it was very popular in like the early 2000s.
So clearly their jingle clearly worked.
Yeah.
But how is everyone? Are we ready for an evening of writing? Or a morning of writing for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere?
No, not the Northern, the Western.
Whatever.
Because there's people in the Northern Hemisphere in the same time zone as us, Jenna.
That confuses me.
The seasons are north and west, and then time zones are east to west. So time zones are north and south, and then time.
Right. I believe we've had this conversation before. I'm positive we have, and I still just don't get it.
Yeah, this way seasons, this way time.
Okay. Sure.
That's why I'm half an hour in front of you, even though I'm below you.
Yep.
That's okay. My mum only realized that it's different seasons in the Northern Hemisphere last week. My mum is 60.
Wow.
Okay.
Right. I don't think that half of BookTube knows that there's different seasons in the Northern and Southern Hemispheres, to be fair.
My mum has seen photos of me standing in the snow in February.
Amazing. Well, it says they are reading The Way of Kings while you guys write. Oh, Way of Kings. I feel like that's a book I should have heard of. I have not.
Brandon Sanderson?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. I've caught on. All right, well, we have a couple different options of what we can do. We can dive straight into a writing sprint and just attempt to write something. We can chat a little bit about, like a very little bit, if you don't want to give too much away, but a little bit about what you're working on or how you prep, and we can sort of talk about all these things in between sprints anyway, so our brains are still on writing, but we get a break, and hopefully we don't go on too many tangents like we tend to.
Not bad for that.
I reckon we should start with what we're writing, talking about it. Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
One of you can.
Yeah, I can give us. I started a new book last week. I was writing something else, and do you think my brain could handle that? No. So writing something else. It's a portal fantasy. It's pretty much it. YA. Yeah, it's a YA. And it's got lots of fun magic in it. And it's got the most complicated history that I ever could have created. And I'm literally writing this project because I didn't want to write something with a complicated history. So that backfired greatly.
I feel like that always happens. So you're like, I don't want to do this. And then you're like, but I'm going to.
This is the first book I ever tried writing. I came up with it back when I was like 16 and I put it aside, apparently because of the complicated history. And I didn't remember that until I was sitting down to go back to it and was like, oh, yep, that's a thing.
So are you starting from the beginning writing again, or are you continuing on?
Yeah, I never got around to, well, I did. My first draft of this book that I found had a chapter in it. So yes, I have restarted, and I'm trying again. And I'm trying a different theory. I'm trying to just like I've got the full book roughly outlined, and then I'm trying to in-depth outline the book 3 chapters at a time, write the 3 chapters, and then outline the next 3 to see how that goes.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. We have someone else here. Hello. Writing your side characters. Ooh.
They're always my favorite.
I love side characters. I like the side characters who like take over and you just love them so much and you're like, main character, ew. Writing fantasy too. Ooh, how exciting. I do love fantasy. Fantasy's a good time.
I feel like that's a pretty common, like most people I know who are writing something are writing a fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Well, no one wants to write anything in this world anymore, really.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be in this world as it is now.
Nope.
I want to escape from there as well.
Pretty much. What about you guys?
You want to go first, Kat?
Sure. So I am writing, it was like an urban fantasy, like it takes place modern day Melbourne. COVID never existed in it because I started writing it pre-COVID anyway. So that's how long I've been working on it.
Fair.
Yeah, so basically the way I describe it each time is I got really sick of reading characters who got powers and were like, oh no, I don't want this. I just want a normal life. When like everyone I know would be like, powers? Hell yeah. So yeah, I have my group of characters. They're all in like their early 20s. So I guess it would be new adult, but it doesn't have like the violence or the sex side of things. It's just they're in their early 20s. And they all get powers and they're like, we barely know how to function as normal people. How do we do this? Okay, wait, yeah, okay, something happened with my hand.
See, I love that because I am the kind of person who would be like, powers, yes, it's happening to me.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. Are you very far through it, or is this still the first draft? Or
yeah, so first draft. I recently finally hit 50K.
Woohoo.
Took me long enough. And I have like I'm in like the last section of the book, like I'm at the climax. So I've got to finish writing that. Have them win and defeat the bad guy and stuff. And then I have to go back and find all the spots where I was like, write more about this thing here.
Mm-hmm. That sounds awesome. No, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that sounds very good.
It does.
Very exciting.
Hopefully you'll be able to read it one day.
One day.
If we keep doing more of these, maybe we'll actually get there.
Yeah.
That's the plan. That's what we're doing. Kat, what about you? What's your book about? If you don't want to give too much away, you don't have to, obviously, but give us a vibe.
Okay. So it's like it's an urban fantasy, but like there are parts of it that take place in like the fantasy world. There are sort of 2 storylines that intermingle. One of which is like a competition fae-based thing that has been inspired by Labyrinth, like the 1986 film, and the other is a heist with witches and demons. So there's a lot going on. But yeah, it's an adult book, and there's definitely horror elements to it because I like it when things go really dark. So that's what's going on.
Okay, can I just say I need to read both of your books? It's like it's not a want, it's a need.
It's okay. Well, we can all be like beta readers for each of our books once we finish something.
Absolutely. Proper critique partners, I think, needs to occur for always and eternity. I like that. Give me powers. Yeah, see, everyone loves that. Kat, everyone's like, yes, powers.
We would all
because I know exactly what you're saying. The amount of characters you read about who are like, oh, I have this power. Actually, funnily enough, my character's one of them. I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, actually, yeah, my character is one. She finds out she has powers, and she's like, ew, take me home.
Well, I'm going to be so frustrated by her then.
I think, in her defense, it's a lot to take in. But yeah, that's funny. All right. Well, we've been chatting for, I don't know, where does it tell us that we've been live? There, 10 minutes. So do we want to give writing a go?
I feel like we should.
Okay. Oh, Kat looks like Willow's interested. Love Labyrinth, love Witches. Sounds good. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Labyrinth, so I was just like, I just need to channel this into some writing. So
look, definitely take inspiration where you can get it. And I mean, I think this book I'm writing at the moment started out as you guys remember the BBC show Merlin?
Yes.
Yeah, started out as a Merlin fan fiction.
Love it.
Literally, the only thing I took from it was the OC I created and her power, but it started out as a Merlin fan fiction. So
yeah,
take inspiration where you can. Alrighty, how long do we think our brains can handle? I feel like is the question that needs asking.
Should we start longer and then go shorter, or should we start shorter and then go longer?
How about we start mid and then decide afterwards? I mean,
we can start mid, definitely. Because Saturdays are my writing days. They're the days that I set aside for writing. But normally I'll go and sit at a cafe and just like write and then sit there and freak the owner out because I'm sitting there like this, not moving, just like really thinking. The last time the owner did come up to me and he's like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah, fine." Just all right. What was I writing? My word count. So I know how many words I do because I'm a curious person and a competitive person. So
are we all competing? Whoever gets the most words wins something.
I'm not going to be able to do that.
I mean, no, but I just like to I literally compete with a friend about how many platinum trophies we have. He's not competing. I am. So he's like, I don't care. I'm like, no, but I have to beat you. Alrighty. So what are we thinking? What's a short or a mid writing sprint? I don't know.
I'm thinking about 30 minutes, but does that count as long? I don't know.
I feel like that counts as long.
Is it long or is it mid? Because I feel like 30 minutes it feels like a very mid thing.
Really? I don't know. Yeah. Every time when I did I'm just going off the NaNoWriMo sprints that we did. 30 minutes was considered a long sprint in our like Adelaide Nano group. The average one we would do is 10 minutes, but 10 minutes is not a lot of time. It all depends on what you want. It all depends on if you're wanting to just get the words down and just write fast, or if you want to like actually have some time to think about what you're writing.
I need time to think about mine because essentially my plan for today is to rewrite my main character because I hate her. So
ooh, okay. So Kat needs thinking time. All right. Well, I can set up a 30-minute timer to start with. Then we can sort of gauge how we go with that anyway.
Okay.
That's 30 seconds. That's 30 minutes. Not gonna lie, I freaked out a second, thought it was 30 hours. So if I add our timer to stream,
ta-da.
So beautiful. I also believe it makes a really obnoxious sound when it finishes.
Oh.
So I apologize in advance for that, especially because I'm going to take my headphones off, but I'll make sure I'm like, got it all. I'll hear it. Don't you worry. I will definitely hear it go off.
I'm going to turn my volume down.
I would recommend it. Yeah, because I tested it and I was like, oh, yes, that's obnoxious enough to remind me that I've got a timer going. Alrighty, so I'll start the timer. You can count your words if you want to, if that's how you measure progress. Otherwise, you can. I love this. 2 cats in the room. I just noticed. Yep, they're cat squared.
Yeah, we're Jenna and the cats.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty. Good luck, everyone. I hope you make some brilliant progress, and we'll see you all back here in 30 minutes.
Let's go.
I'm so glad I turned my volume down.
I'm sorry, I told you it was an obnoxious sound. I just didn't realize it was quite that obnoxious. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Whew. Anywho, I'll tell you what is funny. I'm listening to a movie TV soundtrack playlist on Spotify. A song from Merlin came on shuffle.
It knew. It was listening to you.
That made me giggle. Well, how did everybody go?
Good. I got like 600 words down, and then I finished that chapter, so I started outlining the next chapter.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I murdered 2 people and mortally wounded a 3rd.
Cool.
Nice.
That was fun.
I
enjoyed that.
Unpleasant people.
2
of them were unpleasant. One was trying really hard to protect a baby.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. Did the baby survive?
Yeah. She did. Is she going to be scarred for life? Yeah, she is, but she's alive. She's covered in blood, but it's fine. Well, actually, to be fair, I haven't written the part that she's covered in blood yet, but she's covered in blood.
Right.
Yep. It's great. Oh, let me change to hold on. There we go. We can see each other. There we go. Yeah, but I wrote, just over 500 words, realized I needed to come up with a language, panicked, and I'm just using random words as a placeholder.
Yep, fair.
But writing down what those words are so that I can sort of keep track. I don't like that I need another language, but magic spells, so.
I mean, you're the one writing the story, so you don't need another language. You've chosen to have another language.
Yeah, but magic. I feel like magic has to be a different language when you're saying spells and stuff.
What? Can't just have Spanish or something?
Well, at the moment it's Latin. So then I did a really quick Google search of can you even use Latin in books? And everyone's like, look, you can, but and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. That Precious Cousins has 203 words. Nice work.
Good job.
Love that. What about you, Kat? How'd you go?
Well, words happened. I don't know how many words happened because I'm essentially just rewriting things. And then I got distracted because Cooper came back and now he is sleeping there.
Cooper!
I saw Cooper for a bit. I put in the private chat, hi Cooper.
Oh, I totally missed that. Yeah, he made me get up and he likes to drink from the sink. So he just makes me stand there while he drinks from the sink. So I had to do that for 2 minutes. I came up. So it interrupted my flow a bit.
Solid. Duolingo helps with language. Yeah, I'm funnily enough, I'm learning Spanish on Duolingo at the moment, and I literally got an email from Duo being like, "Oi, it's time for your Spanish lesson." Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I made sure to do mine before the live stream.
Yeah, look. Normally on a Saturday night, I would do mine during my stream. I'll quite often be playing a game. There's a cutscene. Oh, 1 minute, got to do my Spanish homework. Everyone on stream helps with the Spanish. It's great.
Cool.
I don't know. I still haven't finished the prologue, and the prologue's turned out to be much longer than it should. It's 6 pages.
That's not the worst.
It's no longer a prologue. It's now a first chapter. If we're being honest, it's now a first chapter, but it's important. I'm such an overwriter, but I can't write descriptive language to save my life.
Mood. Everything I write is either dialogue or we walked here.
So we both have the white room syndrome. I see. I'm learning Spanish and Chinese. Ooh. Chinese is interesting. Yeah. What about you, Kat? Have you got white room syndrome?
I'm trying to fix it. trying to fix it. I've realized that so this is technically my 4th draft of this. in
Oh,
which
wow.
I've decided that I need to completely rewrite it because I hate my main character.
Fair.
And part of the problem that I've realized is that it's really long. It's like I don't know how many words, 115,000 words.
Oh, wow.
And it's too long because a lot of the time, all of my characters are just going from one place to another. And I'm just saying that they're going from one place to another. And I'm like, that's not writing. Why does it look like that? So it needs a lot of
what's the average word count for a first fantasy novel for an adult book? I know for YA, it's like roughly between 70 to 80,000 words. So I assume for an adult fiction, it would be a bit longer.
I'm Googling.
I honestly don't know.
Oh, that's not helpful. It says between 50,000 and 150,000.
That's not helpful at all. Think of prologues for a past event, the reader needs to know, or a dream, or a bad or a good memory. He said, yeah, this is a really important event that the prologue is. Like, the prologue is a really important. There are two really important events that happen in this prologue that, like, the reader has to know. I can't just throw them in. Like, you need this information. However, it's gotten a little bit away from me. I either need to cut down the first part where I kill someone or the second part where I kill multiple people. Either one has to be cut down. Either way, I think apart from the baby, there's not a single person who gets out of this prologue alive. Because it wouldn't be a Jenna book without murder.
I
like death.
See, no one in mine is dying, so.
Oh.
So I feel like it would be a little. I feel like death would be a little different in mine since mine is like urban fantasy. So.
I wonder how many people in mine die. 1, 2, 3. Not including all the no-name soldiers and the 4, 5 technically if you include the woman. Look, I just find death really motivates people, you know?
It does. I just have horrible things happen to mine. Like, rather than just death, a lot of people have a lot of horrible things happen to them pre-death and then may eventually die. But there's some stuff that happens in here that I can't really talk about because it will ruin spoilers.
Yeah. So I think the worst thing that's happened in mine so far is that, like, one of the friends gets hurt by like the bad guy, and then the main character and another friend is like, oh no, that is our cinnamon roll friend, you do not hurt her, and then they're like, fuck you, and then go after the bad guy.
That's what we need.
I love that.
Don't hurt the cinnamon roll.
Jeez Louise, sadly who is skipping prologues in a book?
Yeah,
like that's really dumb if you ask me. Maybe it's just
me. Treat it as chapter 1. Like I know it is different because like there is a difference in a prologue, but if I'm reading a book that has a prologue, I'm just like, that's chapter 1 essentially for me. So,
Yep. Okay, so the amount of times this book has changed. The one thing that hasn't changed is the bad guy's name. Even almost every single other character's name has changed. But apparently, originally, my main character lived in California. She now lives in London. Okay. So that's a thing.
Different climes.
I don't even know who this person is, but apparently he's 17 and the head cheerleader's boyfriend. Who are you, sir? I don't... This is what happens when you write stuff 1,000 years ago and then you look at it back and you're like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pull a Stranger Things if he's the head cheerleader's boyfriend and just have him be a dick and then cut him in half at the end.
Absolutely. Apparently, this book used to deal with alternate universes, like proper parallel ones. That's not a thing. Okay, so
thanks. I keep looking through my map I made years ago. I have like a house map for like the different things because there's a home invasion element to this book. as if I didn't need more elements.
Yes.
So now I have like very detailed room plans. It's like I went on The Sims and was like, this is where the dining table is going to be.
Honestly, that's not stupid to do. To like actually map it out and see it so then you can work things around it. I found an initial plot details page that I remember nothing about, but I'm reading it and I'm like, you know what? This is some good stuff. I just don't remember it. Like, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. Okay, this is why we have folders of random pages of things that we used to write in high school. If I go back to reading, I might skip a prologue for the premise or spoiler in first chapter or so, zooming through it, then go back and read the prologue. That's just me. I love spoilers. I have definitely read the final chapter of a few books if I thought I wasn't going to like the book.
I could never.
So I suppose we should probably write again before.
I suppose so. Hey, look. See this? This was part of my first draft. It's a paragraph long.
I love how you printed that off by the looks of it.
I did. I must have written this at my grandparents' house on their computer, so I had to print it if I wanted a copy of it.
Record keeping.
Why? Why? I don't. Why? Just why? I appreciate it. I attempted lots of different spellings of the two main characters' names. I still don't like the spelling of the girl, but I can't think of anything else. So she's stuck with it. My excuse is, well, she's from Earth, and so her human parents gave her a human name. That's it. That's how I'm getting away with it.
Okay.
It's fair. Yeah. I have a problem with like the characters that I named in my book is that like for some reason I'm like obsessed with 2-syllable names. And I like there's a group of women who are in this like coven together, and like so many of them have 2-syllable names or names that begin with M for some reason. Like, why have I done this to myself? They're not related. Why have I done this to myself?
Yeah, now that I think about it, I think all of my main characters have 2-syllable names.
It's just easier to, I don't know, they flow more. I don't know.
How many of my characters have 2 syllables? See, now you got me curious. Now I got to know.
This is the thing.
My thing though was because it's taking place in like modern day, and it's taken me so long to write it. I think when I started writing it, they would have been millennials, but they stayed the same age, so now they're Gen Zers, and I'm like,
oof.
Okay,
Oof. They've changed.
They have definitely changed. Okay. I'm happy to report that I have lots of different. I have some 1 syllables, some 2 syllables, some 3 syllables. Like, I'm good.
Good mix.
We got there. Yeah. Alrighty. So I'm going to have to break into chapter 1, which I'm not looking forward to. It's great. All right. How long are we thinking for this next one? How did the half hour suit everybody?
Yeah, it worked well for me. Yeah.
Worked well?
Yeah, we could do another, and then it'll take us to like a clean hour, half hour as well.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. So got that good to go. Name's my second MC is Cameron from Another Planet, but I love his name so much. I'll change the name later. That's sort of how I'm thinking. Like, I'm just gonna I have always referred to this book. It doesn't have a title, but I've always referred to it as Shay and Kaylin because that's the name of like the two main characters. So it's just always been in my head. It's always been Shay and Kaylin. So I feel like if I changed it, I would still refer to it as that name. So I'm like, there's no point changing it. I'll change it later. After the plots, yes, plots are important.
More important.
Plots are
Names
definitely important. Sadly, plots can be changed later too, and I feel like that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm also just going to sit here for 30 seconds so we can literally do like a clean break.
I enjoyed before how when it was 10 o'clock, both of you said 10 o'clock on the exact moment. Oh, not 10 o'clock, when it was 10 minutes into the stream. You were both like 10 minutes as it hit 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because we can see it.
I just realized I'm not going to be able to hit. Okay, hold on.
Go.
Sorry to scare everyone. Jenna, cat got booted. Can you let her back in? That definitely terrified me that time.
I'm sorry. Promise we'll find a better one next time. Kat, how did you get booted?
I don't know. I just looked and then it was like error. And I was like, oh.
You're like, that's sad.
Yeah.
Oh, man. My brain didn't want to write during that one.
It's fair.
Yeah. I got about 200 words and I finished outlining my remaining 2 chapters. So I'm almost at the end.
Yay! Is this the first draft of this book?
Yes, first draft. So long way to go after that. But I've never had a full completed draft of anything before. So
Oh, that's so exciting. I didn't make it out of the prologue.
You'll get there one day.
He just won't die fast enough. I also don't really know how to get him to die, but the baby's still to live because I need her to be found. So it's a bit of a struggle. It's one of those things that's like right now, fix later.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's me with my first draft.
Mm-hmm.
That's me on this draft.
Right now, fix later.
I'm like going through it and I'm like, I need to put in some information here. And I'm just going to leave this section because I know I need to completely rewrite the thing that happens before it that I'm ignoring. I'm trying to do like one of the storylines for the moment and sort of then rewrite the other storyline at the same time because I don't really like how the heist element starts at this point in time. So I just need to fix it. So.
Fair. Very fair. 116 words. Nice. I feel like that one was less successful for most people. I wrote 276 words apparently.
Well, seeing as how I mostly I'll write in 10-minute chunks every few weeks, this is the most amount of writing that I've done in months. Yeah. So my brain is very much still it's going down.
Yeah.
I can concur with that. In my bullet journal, I have a writing tracker, and this is how sad this is, right? I'm gonna show you how much writing I've been doing. So this is the last 3 months. Literally, I've done 1 this month, and then 4, and nothing last month.
Yep, that looks accurate. I literally hadn't written anything before last weekend when I took myself out to the cafe, and I was like, I'm not leaving here until I've written something.
Yeah. Well, we've had success with today so far. Right? Some success is any success is welcome.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm almost I feel like I want to give myself a deadline for this book, but the problem with that is I then won't stick to the deadline. So I'm like, well, what's the point of making one?
Yeah.
So I feel like I need someone else to tell me a deadline, and then I'll be like, okay, let's go.
But didn't we attempt that, and then we all failed at holding ourselves accountable?
Yes. Yes, we did. It was bad.
We weren't good at that.
Yeah.
Nope. That was. I feel like we didn't really set deadlines.
We had monthly goals.
Yeah. It didn't really work for us. I would draft on paper so that I literally can't go back. I'll just highlight and letter the problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I love to edit as I go. It's the only way. I hate editing personally. I don't know. There's something about editing that I don't love. But I also don't particularly love the first draft. I'm not sure why I want to be a writer. I don't like any of it.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter before someone was tweeting they had spoken to a 10-year-old, and they asked her if she wanted to be a writer. And then she was like, "Yeah, I do, but I just want to do the thinking part, not the writing part."
That's me. I was like, yes, this 10-year-old gets it. I'm writing my side characters still. That's good though. I feel like side characters need to be really well fleshed out. Otherwise, they just end up being two-dimensional, flat cardboard characters who no one cares about. So
Yeah.
I definitely think that spending a decent chunk of time on your side characters is not a bad thing.
I agree. I end up liking the side characters way more than the main characters, hence the problem I'm in now. So.
Yeah, where you're literally rewriting your main character because you're like, you suck.
Yeah, I just realized she was just really flat and boring, and like I was like, I don't care about what happens to her, so why would anyone else care what happens to her? I was like, where's her personality gone? It's vanished into the fact that she needed to do plot things, and I'm like, I need personality to come back. So
Yeah.
Fair,
changing
very
her
fair.
I feel like in mine, a lot of my personality of my characters is coming through on what they like as well, because there's a lot of pop culture references in there because they're all nerds. My book literally opens with my main character and her best friend fighting over whether Spike or Angel from Buffy are better. So,
Okay,
decide?
But who wins that argument?
Yeah.
well, they never finish it because one really likes Spike and one really likes Angel.
And the one that really likes Angel is wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, I feel like there is a correct answer here, and the answer is Spike.
Yeah, my main character is on the Spike side, and her friend is the Angel side.
All right, so we like the main character. We don't trust the friend, is what you're saying. The friend has poor taste. Oh, I love that. I love that.
It's great.
Oh man, my book's just full of death and sadness.
Yeah, see, I didn't want to write anything sad. So.
Mine, in the first chapter, some boys, a group of schoolboys, are doing some not nice things to something. And my main character is like, please stop. And it's sad. That really sets the tone for the rest of the book, I think. So people are going to know in the first chapter whether or not this book's for them, which is great because I feel like if you're going to have something in the book, you got to be upfront with it to be like, this is here. You're either going to like it or you don't. Stop reading now if it's not your thing. That's why it's in the first chapter.
Yeah. Maybe I should bring some horror elements forward in the book. A lot of the horror takes place in like the last half of the book. It's like it all goes really downhill for everybody involved. People are not having a very nice time at all.
Good.
And in the first half, they're all like, "Oh, let's go get some jewels. That'll be good. Yay, money."
And then in the second half, they're like, mistakes have been made.
Like, oh.
More money, more problems.
Like, did you want to keep that leg? No? Great.
Oh, no. Yeah. So the books you guys are writing, are they part of a series? Are they standalones? What are you thinking?
Mine is a standalone with the possibility of having more books. So I feel like that would be easier to sell as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine is a duology. I'm going for the 2 books because there's just no way this can be finished in one. And then there's the possibility of having like sort of spin-offy type things, but like this whole main story is 2 books. So
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm guessing yours is a series.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know this story doesn't finish in one book, but the second book that I came up with took place on a completely different continent, was a completely different genre with completely different characters, but it was the same series. So I was like, I don't really know how I'm going to sell that or how that's going to work.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. So I was like, yeah, it's gonna take a lot of thinking. But every time I've thought about it, I was like, this is it. This is what it is. I just don't know if I can get away with not touching these characters in a second book and then bringing them back for a third and being like, surprise, it was all one series. So I might need to do some shuffling, I think, to get it all to work.
Well, that's kind of the Starbound trilogy by yeah, they focus on different characters, but then they all come back together in the end.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, many characters you love in different versions of the story. They combine the characters in one story and brainstorm better plots. Not suggesting it, but it took me 3 years.
I quite like that idea.
And it's a chronological series, might be multiple POVs in each book. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know. Yeah, because I think with mine, this first book revolves very heavily around these two characters and learning who they are. But then the second book would take place at a different spot with different characters who are focused on a different issue, but that actually is the same issue. And then the third one is them all being like, well, we're screwed. We're all in trouble now. So there's like all these, so there would be allusions to it in both books being like, this thing on the horizon is a problem. You guys should, it kind of reminds me a lot of Game of Thrones. Okay. The entire time I was watching Game of Thrones, I was like, I don't care who sits on the Iron Throne. The big issue here is the White Walkers are coming. Why aren't more people focusing on that? That's kind of the vibe I'm going for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the readers are like, there's something way more important happening. None of this matters. Why don't you care? Just, it's not going to be a disappointing ending, I hope. But, you know, we can only hope.
Just don't kill off a fan favorite character. Kill someone else instead.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh.
Or kill off everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
no one is safe.
I mean, I know full well there's a particular character who's going to die, and that's going to kick off like a serious revenge plot because these other people are like, hold on a second. What? And so they're like, we no longer care about anything but murdering this person who murdered this person. I'm like, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a bit of revenge.
Yeah, gotta love that revenge plot. If only I could get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's effort. Actual effort.
Writing is effort. But like so satisfying at the same time.
Well, when it's done, it's satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like rereading some of my stuff, and every now and then, I mean, most of what I read is garbage, but every now and then you read a line and you're like, yeah, I wrote that.
Yeah.
That was all me.
Yeah.
I had
And then
some stuff.
sometimes you read it and you're like, what? Why did I write that?
Yeah. There's some stuff that I got like published in like locally within like my suburb area / capital city. It was to do with the university. And I don't want to go back and reread it now because I remember what it's about. And I'm like, no, it'd be so clearly written by a 15-year-old and I hate it. And I kind of hate that it's out there now. Like people could probably find it. And
I feel like I have to go looking for it now, just an FYI.
I don't know if you would be able to find it with the information I gave you, but like you would have more of a chance than Kat. But
I definitely would.
Yeah.
I'm not looking it up now. What?
Yeah, I don't look at anything that I wrote when I was younger. I just feel like I would just be the saddest human if I read it.
Yeah.
Because it was not really good.
I didn't find it, but I think I found your LinkedIn profile. Do you have one?
Yeah, of course I do.
Then, yep, I found that. That was like the first thing that popped up.
Oh, did you write my full first name?
Yes,
or?
I did.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense that would be the first thing that popped up.
Literally the first. Well,
You can
because I
see
also
where I
put,
work.
well, because I put your university there as well, because I know that too.
But remember, I didn't write this in university. I wrote it when I was 15.
I know, and I don't know the high school, but I do know the area. But you did say uni, so I thought maybe the uni had done a thing with your high school.
I don't know if it's online, but
It probably isn't, to be fair. If it was that long ago, like you probably couldn't find it.
yeah.
I'd be very, very surprised if you could.
Mm.
So I definitely don't have a LinkedIn page, but I feel like I probably should.
I
Yeah,
have a LinkedIn page.
most people do because it's on my resume. It also is kind of a resume.
Yeah.
But a lot of people use it for like social media stuff, and I really don't get that. Like I'm not going to post statuses about how work is going. Work is going, and that's good.
At my work, for some of our businesses, I work in social media. We post on LinkedIn for some of them, and it's literally like updates about their company, or like it's like their company's social media page. Like we're like, okay, this one from Facebook can work over here. And I'm like, is anyone actually reading this?
Yeah. It's just, I mean, some people do, but it's not a social platform that I would choose to use.
Yeah.
Like, no, I definitely. Well, I don't even have one.
It's actually useful for remembering where you worked in the past.
Yeah.
Like, when did I work in this place? At some time in the past. How long was I there for? To know.
Yeah. Hold on a minute.
What?
Hold on. I highly doubt I've found it. But
what did you find?
No. Well, I can't say because it gives away like where we live.
Can you say it without the things though? Because I'll probably know what you're saying.
No, it's all right. I don't think this is it.
Is it like a high school or a uni thing?
Neither. It's a council thing.
Okay, yeah, could have been part of it.
And it was just the date, like, lined up, but I don't.
Yeah, I've also learnt that I can find my high school's newsletters online as well. It was really weird.
I kind of love that. I'm not gonna lie. Can you search? Oh, you can. You know what?
Now.
Okay, so believe it or not, I found the competition that you did. Congratulations on your commended.
Yeah,
right
I didn't
there.
come first.
No, in your fiction category. So yeah, and it was. Oh, I doubt that your actual thing is online. I doubt your actual story is here.
Yeah.
However,
is this the thing though? Like if it's a booklet thing, if you turn the page, there's a Vampire Academy review on the next page that I did not write. It just happened that way.
It just happened that way. No. Next on the page is what's on, which means I haven't quite found it yet. Okay. I'm going to find it. You shouldn't have mentioned it.
I mean, the regret will be real now.
It's okay. It's okay if Jenna reads it, but no, I don't think anybody else would be able to find it because Jenna has information about me that the general internet doesn't.
Yes, I definitely have other information that other people do not. And it's funny because it was in conjunction with that uni, so I was right there.
Yeah.
Hold on. This doesn't
Before
look like...
we go too much down the rabbit hole, we're coming up on like 20 past the minute.
Are we
20 past my time. Do we want to?
Are we even still in a mood where we could write more?
I could go again, but
I mean, I probably could go again. I reckon.
We could do like a shorter one.
Did you really win a university prize for it?
So, like, I didn't come first. But I think I won twice as well. One I got a commended and one I came second.
I'm looking at the one you got a commended for. I've found it. I just can't find the story.
Yeah, the first story I absolutely kind of hate now. The second one I like better, but also both of them, you can very much tell what media I was obsessed with at the time.
Vampires?
No, it wasn't vampires in it.
Oh.
It was vampire adjacent though. The second one was werewolf.
I mean, I want to say that I am surprised. Okay. I found the winning haiku. I just can't find your story.
Well, I definitely didn't write a haiku. Poetry, not my thing.
Yeah, poetry. It's funny. I actually, now that I'm out of uni, I actually love like studying poetry, and I'm like, could go back. Definitely could go back.
I don't understand poetry, and I will fully admit that it just goes right over my autistic little head, and I'm like, I'm okay with that.
My favorite poet is Dr. Seuss, so that says a lot.
I like a good rhyme. That's about all I'm going to get out of a poem. So,
yeah, I don't know. I found I do really enjoy. I do really enjoy poetry now. I feel like I understand it a lot more now. I like it. All right, let's have a feel. How do I? Oh no, wait, I got it. Let's clear that. Let's do. What do we reckon? We split that in half. Do a 15-minute sprint.
Yeah.
See how we feel. I'm determined. I want to at least finish this prologue tonight. Like, my brain is definitely starting to wander, as evidenced by my trip down the rabbit hole to try to find Kat's story that I could not find.
It will never stop bothering you.
But
it's on the shelf at my mother's house. So
I did, however, find a photo from that event that I was looking at. You look very unimpressed to have got the commended award.
I just hate photos.
It's fair.
Yeah, look, I'd be unimpressed too. I'd be like, really? No, it's good. Although I'm not sure why they have this newsletter up online anyway. Like, it was a decent amount of years ago. It's time to take it down.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's have a look. Poetry isn't too hard. There are so many types. Maybe there's a type you don't like, Kat. Maybe.
I don't know, because I did. I had like poetry courses at uni, and I don't know. There's something about it. I just can't connect with it. I think the only things I actually enjoyed poetry-wise were like epic poems, and I think it's because it has a story. Like when they're short poems, they're just, I don't know. I can't connect to it, and I don't know what it is. I've tried like a bunch of different types of poems. Maybe it's the curse of studied it at uni and hate it now. I don't know. I just kind of can't. I can't get with it for some reason.
Maybe I kind of had the opposite happen to me. I hated studying it in uni and in high school, but I've loved it. But I couldn't like pick up a book of poetry and read it. I couldn't do that. But looking back at like old poet, and I'm talking like the old poets, like all the dead ones. That's who I'm talking about. Those ones I enjoy more. And funnily enough, I started really liking them. I was playing a video game because that's what I do now. It's called Horizon Zero Dawn. And in that, you collect these metal flowers. And when you look at the data that these flowers have, none of it made any sense at all to me. I was like, what is this garbage? And then I collected one and I looked at it, and the very first line said, I wandered lonely as a cloud. And my brain just went, oh my God, it's poetry. So we ended up having a poetry reading on stream where we just read these poems and like interpreted them. And after that, I was like, yep, so I miss uni very much. Which I think is more to the point. I took poetry in college. There are so many topics too. Oh, definitely. There's so many different things that poetry could handle. But it's one of those things. It's like every time you go back and you study a classic novel at uni and you're like, I'm writing a novel and I don't think these things. I wonder if they actually thought about that when they were writing, or if they just went, this word sounds good.
Like,
the characters were blue because they were blue.
Like, not this book, the other one I was writing, I was trying to look at it from like a uni point of view, and I was pulling some stuff apart and I was like, oh, actually, yeah, I do have some interesting things and whatnot here, but I did not consciously put them there. So I thought that was just Interesting.
Yeah.
Anywho, now that we've talked to Tab, we can do
It's
a 15-minuter. Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah.
let's
I
go.
apologize in advance for the obnoxiousness that is the timer. But it's fine.
I bet it still scares me.
It'll scare everyone. I'm sorry. All right. Happy writing.
words back out of the words.
I made it to chapter 1.
Ooh.
Yay! And I'm happy to report that I like my main character so far.
Yay, success.
I mean, things could change in the next, 75,000 words, but for now, I'm a fan.
Just gonna keep up with that.
I got right up to the point where they're about to do the final thing to take down the bad guy.
How exciting!
That's a very good place to be.
And then it's just the fallout.
Yeah, which is it's going to be a pretty happy fallout because I want them to be successful 20-something.
Yay!
Like success.
I love that. I love that. I also have decided I love my main character's mother. I've had her for 5 paragraphs and I would kill for her.
Are you planning on keeping her alive though?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Look, the death doesn't happen on the page.
Ouch.
Not on the page. However, it's not going to end well for her.
Oh dear.
Look, I'm a real sucker for like the orphan thing. I'm a sucker for the orphan thing and the found family thing. So in order to have a found family, the parents have to somehow be out of the picture.
See, my main character has both of her parents still, just to make them not a classic heroine, both parents, but they don't play a big role. There's just like one scene where she's like on the phone to her mom, and she's just like, yeah, and her mom just keeps gossiping about the neighbors.
Amazing. So this mum is fully shipping my main character and her best friend, and she literally was just like, because the main character doesn't want to get out of bed because same, and so the mum's like, come on, like insert name here, will be here soon. And she literally, the main character, like just looks at her and she's like, you did not just try to use him to get me out of bed. It's like, yes, I did. She's like, no. And it's not happening because I don't want the two of them to get together.
Yeah, there's no romance in mine either. I don't know if you have romance going elsewhere, but I don't have.
I have romance. Like he will have a romance, but it will be with someone completely different. She has far too much going on in her life for a romance.
That's fair.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have a few romantic things that happen. There's like it's not like a major part of the book, especially not in one storyline. Like 2 of the coven are married to each other, and I love them because they are my lovely lesbian mums, and I just love it. They're very cute, and in this rewrite I want to put more of them in because I'm mad at myself how little they ended up being in it in the last draft. I'm like, I just need more of them.
Yeah, they sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
they sound like fun. I really only have sort of the one romance going on in this book. Everybody else is far too busy, too old, or too little to have anything. And so, or actually the second book has the bigger, more important romance if I decide to keep it. But this one, it's like, nope, it's here, it's in a box, it exists, but it's not something that we need to really focus on.
Yeah, I have one character that like my main character comes across, and she's like, he reminds me of this book character, and then there's like they share a look, but then that's going to be about the extent of it. And if I do sequels, maybe they'll get together.
The slow burn is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I both like the slow burn, and then I also like the there's too much heat between us, we should just do it and then deal with the consequences later. I like both of those.
Yeah.
Anything more like a normal no. We're not looking for like a one book thing. It's either it happens immediately and then they have to deal with the consequences, or it doesn't happen till like book 5. Those are my two mediums.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, let's have a look. What have we missed? We missed a lot. Okay. To crave or not to crave? That's paranormal fiction. What is there not to love? That is the question. Isn't it always the question?
Yeah.
There's definitely some Shakespeare going on there. Fiction is used for the Gazel effect. We use the words in different ways. Somehow every other line, total of 18 lines in this poem. Okay. My phone. Oh, okay. I see. You've written a poem. Cute. You don't have to read it if you don't want to. Well, unfortunately, comments show up chronologically, so 48 words that time. Nice. Well done. And again, you don't have to read my poem. As I said, unfortunately, it all comes up in a row, so I'm just like, what is happening? It's all right. I'm happy I made it to chapter 1, because like the prologue was the whole a lot of bad things are happening, and now in this I just get to have fun with, because the best friend is going to be all up in that mum shipping them together thing. He's going to be like, yeah. He's going to be like, please stop.
Oh, they're gonna be like teaming up against the like.
Absolutely, they will be 100%, because he's going to get dragged along into this. The person who comes to get her is going to be like, you are coming with us only because if I leave you here, you're going to die, and I don't want that on my conscience. So that's how he ends up in the story. It's literally just, I don't want your death on my conscience, so you're coming with us.
Good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Reason for joining the party.
I mean, I thought so. My party's going to get relatively big. And there's going to be, I think, the character's 7. Not the one I'm writing. I think one of them's 7, but I can't exactly remember her age. I just remember she's real little. But that part's fun. And I had to change her name because, number 1, it didn't fit. And number 2, because obviously this is the first book I started, but when I was going back through it, I was looking at all the names of the different characters, and I was like, oh, apparently I really like these names, because I've reused most of them in further projects that I've done. So now I'm having to change like all of the names in this one.
Yeah. My main character's name in this one was a name that I had used for something else I had started before. And I was like, well, I'm not going to finish that thing anytime soon, so let's just use the name.
Yeah, but you're like, I still love the name, so I have to keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did that with my the couple of characters in this, to be fair, in the Faye storyline. I was like, I really like this name and I'm going to go with it.
I just find naming things impossible. I really struggle with the naming of things. I just don't find it easy.
Yeah.
I had to come up with a name for this competition, this like Faye competition element of it. And it's ended up being the name of the book. But the problem is I named it something and I can't pronounce it. So I'm just like...
You get to make up the pronunciation, though. It's your book.
Well, it's like a... Oh, yeah, right. So it's Oizys. And apparently in Greek mythology, it's the goddess of misery, anxiety, grief, depression, and misfortune. So
solid.
I'll have to learn how to actually pronounce that. Or yeah, I could just go with whatever I want. But yeah, it's essentially the misfortune game is like what I'm going with. I don't know if that's just going to be a working title, but I couldn't keep calling it Coven House. So
I mean, probably not. I mean, I keep calling my book literally after the 2 main characters. So you name it how you want.
Yeah. Also, random question. Are you guys writing in first or third person? Because at the beginning of mine, I like tried both, and I think I settled on first, but I also only have one main character.
Yeah, I'm third person for this, but I don't do first person very well.
I first wrote in third person, and then I changed it to first person, and then I changed it back to third person. So it's staying in third person because I've got too many characters, and they're like, yeah, there's too many characters to do. To do it.
I think because of what I want to do, like further on, I feel like it has to be third person. I'm also looking online to see how you pronounce that name, and no one's giving me like a this is how you do it.
Can you put it in Google Translate?
I mean, there's lots of like YouTube videos on how to pronounce it, because like it is a Greek name.
Yeah.
Well, the phonetic spelling is O-E-Z-E-Z.
That's
That's literally the phonetic spelling is A-W-E-E-Z capital E-E-S.
Sibley's cat. She's frozen, right? Nope,
Yeah, she's back. She's back. Yeah, that's literally. Hold on. There is a video. Shall we listen?
Yes.
Okay, Oasis.
Oasis. We'll go with that.
Oasis. There you go. Oasis. What a name. What a name. Oasis. I like it. I like it. Yes, keep the names. It makes you care about those characters. Definitely.
That's
like
true.
when I find a name I like, I definitely stick with it. Add a footnote of how you pronounce it. It's not a bad, well, or even just like at the front of the book or something.
I could honestly see, like, you know how in some books they have like an appendix at the end and they like explain things and people. There's quite a large cast of characters in this book, and I could totally see a lot of those getting confusing. So I would consider putting in like a detail.
Yeah, a pronunciation guide goes a long way, truly. You've got this cat, but don't overthink it.
That is my chronic problem, overthinking it. I will always overthink it. It's terrible. I've been working on this book for like 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
I definitely feel that. I get to a point where either the book gets too big and I get too scared and so I stop, or I finish a book, which I do have a finished manuscript of a book, and then I look at it and I'm like, I don't know how to fix this, and so I just leave it. Like, I want to be an author, but I don't want like all the hard work.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, I want to write a book and I want to share my stories with people, but that's a lot of work.
It would just be so much easier if we didn't have full-time jobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because then at least I would still have some mental energy left over at the end of the day.
Yeah, because literally what I do for a living is writing, and it's just not about things I care about.
Nope.
Yeah, I edit all day, so I feel that a lot.
I deal with
people's writings.
Yeah, I deal with crappy people on the phone. So after I've been yelled at 5 times for stuff that's not my fault, by the time I get home, I'm like, I can't physically do anything.
Well, yeah, my mental health is so much better since I left my last job. I'm still tired at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, definitely. Google Translate sometimes gets names wrong. Google Translate gets stuff wrong all the time. Let's be real. Make your own words. You are an author. Definitely make up words. It's fun.
It's true.
Well, names, not words. Make up both.
Yeah.
Make up both.
That's literally didn't like Shakespeare make up a whole heap of words and put them in his play? And now
he invented so many words and so many phrases because he was like, I need a word for this. It can be this. I mean, every single word that was created, like someone made that up.
Yeah, all words are made up.
Mm-hmm. We just happen to arrange them in a certain order. Sometimes that order makes sense. Sometimes it does not.
Oh, it's making my head hurt now. It's a bit too deep into how words work.
It's all right. Well, I think What are we done? We've done 2.5 hours, which is roughly an hour and 15 minutes of sprinting. And honestly, that's a lot for a day. I mean, I know some authors can like just sit and smash out a book in 5 weeks. And other authors are like, don't write anything more than 1,000 words a day or your brain will explode.
Yeah.
I hit 1,000 words for the day. So I feel happy with how things went.
I feel like we've already gone 1 to 100 with what we usually write. So
Yeah.
Like, I think this is good going.
Oh, yeah. I think this is a good, like, starting point for writing sprints. I feel like maybe we can work our way up to more, but for now, I think that is probably all that our brains are going to be able to handle.
I probably also would have more brain power if it wasn't 10 p.m. at night on a Saturday.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, Saturday night streams will be a struggle.
Yeah. It's the middle of the day for me. I have no excuse. I've just got no brain anyway. So
yeah, I definitely find I believe it or not, I really struggle to write at home. I really struggle to write here. So if I go out somewhere, I will write so many words. But here, I'm just like, I can't write. I don't know. It's weird.
Distractions.
Yeah. It is like another thing, like the seat I'm sitting in right now is where I do my full-time job 2 days a week. So I literally have my work laptop like right here. So my working space, like creative.
Me too.
Amazing.
Wait, have we got the same laptop?
This is
this is a Mac.
No. Yeah.
Love it.
I definitely left my work laptop at work because I wasn't working this weekend. So
I work from home all the time, so I'm just like, it lives here.
Yeah, at work I use my actual computers. So. Good thing about working at a digital agency is they like will give you digital stuff.
Yeah. I definitely work at the office 5 days a week, and it's a big struggle most of the time.
Yeah, I couldn't go back to working in an actual office, I don't think, or I would hate it if I did, because I just really enjoy working from home. It's great.
I just like my own company and dislike the phones. So I feel like a job working from home would be perfect for me. That's why I got to write a book.
Yeah.
I have to write a book and become a full-time author and Twitch streamer.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Let's do it. The whole 2 people that are watching, subscribe, watch all the stuff.
Absolutely. Here we go. To be or not to be, that is the question. Oh, God, you're making me want to go and read one of the Shakespeare plays that I have. It's really early for me. It's definitely, I mean, it's only 9:30. Like, I won't be going to bed for a long time. But I mean, normally on a Saturday night, right now, I would be streaming a video game. Last week it was the cat game. Highly recommend, by the way, if you haven't played it. It's so good.
Yes. So I was watching, and then I tuned in for a few minutes.
Did you see the eyeballs?
No, I didn't. But I do want to know why the cat was driving a car that crashed.
The trolley. Technically, the cat wasn't driving. Technically, what happened was I slid down like a ramp, landed on the trolley. The momentum pushed me forwards, and then I fell off said trolley.
Okay.
So I technically wasn't driving. Technically.
Yeah. I also
slept for an hour in that game. Solid 10 out of 10 content right there.
But yeah, I love that when I do actually actively tune in and don't have you on mute, it's like a cat driving a car or a horse is talking.
Were you there for the talking horse quest of Witcher? That's really funny.
Just tune in for all the random things. You need like a compilation of the weirdest things that have happened on your stream.
Well, I have my Twitch highlights that go up, and some of the stuff, as I'm editing, I mean, I'm a year behind now, don't judge, but like as I'm editing them and I'm pulling stuff out and I'm just like, what on earth sort of games do I play? Like there's the June the June highlights video will be out in a couple days. Not 2022 June, 2021 June. But I think that was the month that I started Alien Isolation, which is like, the movie Alien, like there's a game and it's that. And so that is me running away from this alien, and that, rip headphone users is all I'm going to say, because there was a lot of screaming.
Yeah, I've watched people play that game before, but I've never actually managed to play it myself because I am too chicken shit for it.
Yeah, look, there are definitely moments in those highlights videos of me just like crawling through a vent and being like, this is not safe, this is not safe. And then the alien pulling me out of said vent and murdering me. And I was like, see, told you it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
It's a good time though. It's great. I play normal games. What?
Totally normal.
I don't know what everyone's complaining about. I'm playing the original Tomb Raider game at the moment and falling off things.
Have you locked Alfred in the freezer yet, or is that
that's number 2? That's literally the first thing I'm planning on doing when I play the second game, is locking the butler in the freezer.
Yeah,
it's like a staple. It is a necessity. You can't play that game without locking the butler in the freezer. You just can't. It's illegal. But
oh dear.
Anywho, well, we've been live 2.5 hours. We've done what, an hour and 15. Been live 2.5 hours. And we've done an hour and 15 minutes worth of writing sprints.
I mean, it's more productive than most of our sprints.
Yeah,
or
that's
like just
very
video
true.
calls.
And I feel like the majority of the time we've been like chatting has mostly been about writing stuff. So
Yeah,
I feel like we've mostly
proud of
stayed
us.
on track tonight. I'm pretty happy.
We've done semi-well. Okay-ish.
Okay. It's all right. And I feel like I've made a bit of progress in the book as well. So I do feel like all in all, it was a pretty successful evening. Hopefully we're going to be back. I'm not going to say regularly, and I'm not even going to say semi-regularly, but hopefully we do want to do more of these writing sprints as the year goes on, whenever we can, because we do all have books that we want to write and then critique for each other and whatnot. So hopefully, we'll be back. We'll let everybody know on social media when we do decide that we're going to do sprints. Some of them will hopefully announce well in advance. Some of them will be we're all free and we're going to do some sprints in a bit. So it really just depends. So definitely stay tuned to all of our social medias for that. Is anything else anybody wants to say?
No.
Nope. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in tonight. I hope that you guys got some words written and that you have made a little bit of progress in your current project. And hopefully one day we can all read each other's projects and it will be amazing. But thank you all so much for tuning in tonight, and we hope to see some of you in a future live stream soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye.